Get free tech advice for your business from O2 Gurus. Search O2 Business for more. Hey guys, welcome to BTech. Basil here with the Huawei Ascend P8 Max, or the Huawei P8 Max. We're not sure if Huawei is dropping the Ascend name. Either way, the P8 Max surprised us at the P8 launch event. It's a large version of their flagship. It's got a glass front and an all-metal body. For a phablet, this thing is very, very slender. It feels really premium as well. We're going to start off by telling you about the design. You can see that 6.8-inch screen right there. It's full HD. Huawei claims it's the most saturated screen on the market, and it definitely kind of actually looks a bit like an AMOLED, though we are in test conditions, so this isn't going to be totally accurate. You can see above the display you've got a 5-megapixel front-facing camera. It's not got stereo speakers, which is a shame. The speaker is found at the bottom, but Huawei claims that this isn't the end of the world. It's a louder than most speaker. Right-hand side of the device, you've got volume rocker and a power button, as well as 2 slots. This is available in dual SIM card slot with dual SIM card slots. On the left-hand side, you haven't got any buttons, just this very, very clean surface, while up top is the micro USB cable connection for charging and a 3.5mm headphone jack. On the flip side, a 13-megapixel camera with a dual flash, one warm, one cool for optimum white balance. That metal backing, and you've got some glass accenting at the base right there. Now, Huawei's done a few things to this device to make it stand out from the crowd. Many carried over from the P8. The main thing about this device is it's got a ginormous 4,360 milliamp battery, which is going to keep it going for over 2 days. As far as that screen goes, what I'll do, I'll bring it closer so you can just see exactly how it fares as I swipe through the user interface. It seems to have really decent viewing angles, and it's very nice and bright as well. So it's a good thing that it has such a large capacity cell. As far as the UI goes, it's Huawei's Emotion UI, and it's Emotion UI 3.1. We've seen this 3.0 on a lot of other devices, and the key operation seems to be pretty in line with what we've seen. You've got a variable number of home screens which we can swipe through, a pull-down bar from the top. But there is no applications tray because Huawei limits all your applications to your home screens. Naturally, this being Android, you can also get widgets on here as well. You can organize your applications into standalone apps, shortcuts, or folders, as you can see. Doesn't appear to have a huge amount of bloatware, but we haven't really had a deep dive into the UI, and in your region it will have its own amount of bloatware, so you want to check before you pick one up there. As far as the notifications tray goes, pull it down and you can obviously swipe notifications out of the way, swipe across to access your shortcuts and quick toggles. If we jump into the settings, we can take a quick browse through to see if anything stands out. One thing that is worth saying is that this runs with Android 5.0 at the heart of it. No, nothing seems to stand out too much. It's going to be available with a range of cases. There's an HTC dot view style case, which is magnetic, so that's a pretty neat addition to the whole thing. One thing that really is cool is what Huawei has done with the camera on the P8 and the P8 Max. It's a 13-megapixel sensor. On paper, it doesn't sound like anything too special, but the sensor's comprised of 4 colors, RGB and W, W being white. So Huawei claims this improves brightness and contrast in low-lit scenarios. You've also got optical image stabilization that is double as effective, according to Huawei, as that found on the iPhone 6 Plus. In addition to that, it's also got a range of modes that are going to enhance everything. So you've got obviously Huawei's trademark beauty mode, but you've got a slow shutter mode, which is going to give you really great light trails, and you can also do other fun stuff like water, turn it into kind of that silky effect style. So that's the camera in a nutshell. We can take a look at the UI very, very quickly right now before I talk about the specs inside this thing. So, enable location, agree. One bugbear I have with Huawei camera UIs is that they don't pivot. You've got all the writing, so that's implying that they really want you to take photos in a portrait orientation, which kind of makes no sense, and this is exactly the same. Sadly, they haven't changed that, but it is very iPhone-esque, so you see what they're trying to do, get it really nice and familiar to people who are maybe migrating from an iPhone. So you can swipe through standard photo, tap on that, and that doesn't give us the cool settings, just the filters that I was talking about. If I was to jump on the 3 lines, here you've got panorama, super night, HDR, all focus, best photo, watermark, online translation, suggesting there's a translation service on here, object recognition, and audio note. As for the cool modes, that would be light painting, tail light trails, light graffiti, silky water, and star track. Pretty neat stuff. You can get this all in manual camera modes on Nokia devices and HTC devices, but the reality is not everyone knows how to use them, so Huawei's automated it. One thing I would have loved to have seen would have been a standard manual mode, but either way, it's not on there. And the front-facing 5-megapixel camera will test thoroughly when we get this device in. We're going to be getting a P8 in, so we'll put that through the test. It's probably the same hardware. Other key specs, it's got an octa-core Kirin processor. It's also got 3 gig of RAM on here, available in 2 capacity variants, 32 gig, or I think it's 128 gigabytes. And that's pretty much the P8 Max in a nutshell. Super slim, feels super premium. Doesn't feel sharp in the hand, but still feels very, very good. What you can expect from it is also a very competitive price point. It's going to come in at 450 and I think it's actually 550, sorry, or 650. Oh, do you remember the price of it?
549,
549, cool, thanks. It's going to come in at 549 euros or 649 euros, depending on the variant that you go for. So I've been Basil with BTech, and this is the Huawei Ascend P8 Max. If you've got any questions about it, fire them in the comments section below. If you like the video, click that like button. And if you like BTech in general, then subscribe to the channel. That's how you're going to stay on top of everything we do. Thanks for watching BTech. Get free tech advice for your business from O2 Gurus. Search O2 Business for more.